does Cambridge actually have a curriculum then?
We hope so.
Well, that just about sums it up, really, doesn't it? Does Cambridge have a curriculum? We're not quite sure. Does Cambridge have curriculum design? Well,
I think we know that Cambridge does have some curriculum. We're looking at certain departments that are certainly changing their teaching offerings, and there's also going to be continuous quality control and reassessment and changes going on. So there's certainly things for us to look at, and since this is a nice long project, we'll have plenty of time to work out how the annual cycle and the university cycle fits in.
that's true, because although we're being really cynical about whether Cambridge has curriculum design, there's actually a wealth of material out there which tells us not just that how much attention Cambridge as a whole university is paying to what's learnt, what's taught, but how much attention individual committees and individual lecturers, supervisors at the university are paying to this. The problem, it seems to me, at the moment, is that that real attention to detail, that absolute passion for teaching, isn't coming out in any of the university's formal statements of curriculum, and it's certainly not coming out in our quality assurance process.
That's right. I think all these processes are very dry and they don't capture the really great teaching that's going on. I mean, I think we can identify certain issues that we know are problems for curriculum design in Cambridge. I mean, if you're the kind of person who studies from books, then life is pretty good, because you can go to libraries, there's plenty of seats, there's no contention for resources. But we know that in lab-based courses, we only have a certain number of seats in the lab, and that can really restrict what you can actually teach, just in terms of how many students you can physically fit through a given course module during a week or a year.
Completely, but this is actually where our research comes in, because Laura, you're wrong. We've just been doing the first round of interviews with students, and actually one of the biggest problems they have is getting hold of the right books.
So books are a problem. I've got plenty. I mean, there's huge numbers of books here. All sorted.
We've got no shortage of books here. The problem is the libraries finding the right amount of the right books, and especially the college libraries. How are they supposed to, when they've got a number of Portuguese students that fluctuates between 0 Portuguese students and 6 Portuguese students between one year and another, how many are they supposed to buy? 0 books, 6 books, 1 book, 2 books? The whole thing is just not quite working.
And as you say, that's a college system which is moderately unique to Cambridge and Oxford, which is unusual. But even if we ignore the colleges, we still have some issues with departments. Departments these days tend to be fairly insular. At Cambridge, each generally define their own curriculum. But increasingly we have interdisciplinary courses which are sharing modules between departments, and students wanting to be able to switch between departments for a final year, or take some modules from another course for their final year, which adds a real challenge to curriculum design, whether or not a student can enter a new course for that 4th year module, or whether in fact they don't have the groundwork for that. So there's going to be some really interesting things in working out the interactions between departments, which ties in very well with our modular e-administration of teaching JISC project,
really
which is looking at similar issues.
But one of the, as Laura was saying, one of the big problems that we're seeing is making sure that the expectations are really clear, and particularly that's most obvious for the students that are swapping from one course onto another one in their 4th year or their 3rd year. How much unspoken knowledge is there that they're expected to have, the skills, the ways of thinking they're expected to have developed over 3 years? Maybe it's so obvious that it's not appearing on the specification, and we've got students that we know of who are swapping course, and whoa, they've never done any discrete analysis of data or whatever it might be that suddenly is totally fundamental to the course. So there are some unspoken assumptions that we're needing to unpack here.
And I think there's a lot of differences between that course specification and what you actually learn. I mean, I remember in my final year actually looking at the course specification of some of the courses I'd taken and thinking, wow, I don't know that I can do that. But these were courses that were well approved, and probably actually I had learned those things, but they were expressed in such different ways to the material that I'd studied in labs and in lectures that I couldn't relate to them at all. And if someone had come from quality control and said, can you do these things, the way they were expressed, I wouldn't have had a hope.
So you can see that this is actually it may sound a bit dry and dull, curriculum design, but it's full of really emotive issues, and that's what we wanted to present to you by having a bit of a debate today about what curriculum design should be, whether there is one, and how it should move forward. It's a 4-year project. I think over these 4 years we're going to see a lot of discussion, a lot of debate, a lot of dissension. But that's not all bad. And if we end up in 4 years in a new and exciting place, then I think that can only be good.
It will. And just with my JISC project manager's hat on, we are going to be looking at a wide variety of things in this project, and this is an early stage where we're very much in the planning phase. But the next stages will be evaluating, working out how Cambridge does curriculum design, looking at the problem areas, talking to stakeholders throughout the university, from the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Education, who's clearly very important to us in this process, and we're glad to have people at that level engaged with our project. But also going all the way down to departmental secretaries and administrators who actually do a lot.
The work.
The people who do the actual curriculum design, and trying to find out what we can do to make their lives easier. We think that once we've worked out the way that Cambridge does things today, we'll be looking at a number of different tools that might help, notably Phoebe, which is a pedagogical planner, Harriet knows much more about it than me, and Koali Student, which is a large open source project in America designed to provide a full suite of tools, everything you could possibly want for managing students. And the specific bit of Koali we're looking at is the Learning Unit Management System. We've got guys off this week at the Koali conference learning more about it, and we're looking forward to hearing how that's going.
We totally are.
But yeah, we're really looking forward to getting our teeth into this project, and many more exciting programme launch weekends like the first one we had in Oxford, which was lovely. Yeah,
the Oxford thing was great, and thank you very much for our new flip video recorder, because we love it.
We also love beanbags.
Yeah, we do. Bye!